want to wish you a happy holiday.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
So tell us about 2025. Let's give us a little recap commercially.
Okay. I'm glad it's over. 2025 was, to me, it was a year of getting ready. A lot of things are poised to take off. The commercial market was fairly active. I mean, I was as busy as I could be. Every segment of the market I thought was healthy. The industrial, office, retail. We saw some retails getting backfilled and things being planned. We've got some retailers kicking tires and preparing the letters of intent to lease.
And these are the nationals coming
These are the nationals, yeah. So, by the time they get into a letter of intent, it might be 2-3 years before we actually see a sign up on the building. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. There's a lot of things that are happening. Of course, multifamily is always busy. So
when I drive out to the valley, I go past the old Sears building, which is now a furniture mart.
Yes.
Tell us how that evolved. And I understand it's wildly successful.
Yes, it is. It is. That started out in life as a Walmart. I was involved with that sale. And then Walmart immediately, once they opened, realized that it was much too small, and they developed across the street. And now that's a super Walmart. And they asked me to sell the building, so I sold it to Sears. Sears went through some transitions nationally, so they closed. They called me, and I sold it. For a long time, they were hoping to lease it. Transformco, the real estate arm of Sears, wanted to lease it, but there were some difficulties with the ground lease, and the tenants weren't. There was hair on that dog, so we didn't do a lease. So it was sold to the gentleman that owns Sadler's Furniture. He owns Ashley's Furniture, mattress firm. He's opened up. I think he's been open 2 or 3 months now. Very, very pleased with the business that they're doing. And it's kind of bittersweet for me because, I'd like to sell that building a couple more times, but now with Dave Cavett in charge, he's going to be very successful there, and I'm not going to get to sell that building again.
Well, I see the signs. I mean, just did an excellent job with the remodel. Yes, a building. It's very, very attractive. The signage is great.
Yeah.
And I can say that you had for your commercial clients a Berkshire Hathaway commercial party, and I met one of the managers for the Furniture Mart, and they're super, super happy.
Yeah.
Super successful.
Right? That's what I say. I'm not going to get to sell that building again for a while.
No.
So, yeah, they're very pleased with, that location. You can't beat the location. And then the building is solid. And then the way they've got it, so all of their different lines of furniture, whether it's Sadler's or Williams & Kay or Ashley, it's kind of a standalone inside the building, but then the back end, the warehouse is all together. So, yeah, it makes perfect sense for them.
Yeah. Well, good. Very good. So when you talk about backfilling is there an uptick in retail going on here or not?
Yes, there is. There is. Retailers are starting to come back into town, taking second and third looks. I think 26 we'll see we'll see at least 2 large retailers entering into our market. Some will be expanding within the market, but I think we'll have some news to report 2 new retailers into our market.
What about hospitality? I know you do a lot of work in the hospitality business, especially with restaurants and that sort of thing. How are they doing? Because everything costs more money now to go out to dinner. Are people still going out to dinner? Do you see an expansion in that? Or are some smaller restaurants closing? Others, remodeling, doing things? What's your thought on that?
Well, the hospitality, whether it's restaurant or whether it's hotel, you have to redo those about every 4 or 5 years. If you don't redo the dining room, if you don't redo the guest rooms, they get old real fast and the property starts looking tired. And you're not going to enjoy going out for dinner an entire dining room. So it's important for the people to keep their properties up. And the people that are successful know that. Same thing with hotel rooms. What was your question?
Just about that backfill.
Oh, I don't know of any restaurants that are not doing well.
Okay.
That doesn't mean there aren't any. The restaurants that I work with seem to be doing really well. And I like to support businesses that support me. So I was out for dinner at a restaurant downtown Thursday night, and the dining room was packed. It felt like before COVID. I mean, I was very pleased with people were drinking and eating, and more than one table turned over, so it was more than one seating. So I think restaurants, my uneducated eye would say that they're doing really well. We were involved with a couple of new restaurants that opened up in 26 or 25. So yeah, I think restaurants are doing well. A lot of change of ownership and business models in hotels. And we haven't seen the end of that for 26. We'll see some new players in the market. And I think that market's going to be good.
All right. Okay. Well, when you're talking about refreshing hotel rooms, and that makes me think about remodeling in residential, because, our average home is 42 years old right now.
My age.
Yeah. My house is almost 30 years old now. It's just really amazing. I've never lived anywhere that long in my entire life, but it's due for another remodel. I had one 12 years ago, but you're absolutely right. In order to keep your value up in a property or to keep people coming in, I remember going to Sullivan's when they remodeled several years ago, and they brought in all these bright chandeliers and opened up the bar, and it's sort of like, oh, I liked it just the way it was, but now I like it just the way it is now, right?
I think we have to change it or it gets stale.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, there's, how do I want to talk about the Anchorage housing market without being negative? It's hard for me to do that. I would just say that the Anchorage housing market, I told someone, and I really shouldn't say this in a podcast, that it was sort of boring, actually.
Well, it's not so much boring. It's supply meets demand. So when supply is here and demand is here, you might think it's boring, but on the flip side, you might say it's a very healthy market. When the supply is way down and demand is here, it's not level. Then it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. So then it's exciting because,
right,
everybody's running around with their hair on fire.
Right.
But when it's a balanced market, you could easily, if you're addicted to action,
you could. So you inferring that I am addicted to action?
So I think the market is balanced. I think it's balanced, and if you're going to talk about affordability, I have opinions on that too.
Right. I'm not going to talk about affordability right now, but what I am going to talk about is, even despite the low inventory that we have, we actually have had like a 4.6% increase this past year in residential properties.
That's higher than the cost of living. That's greater than the CPI. So
right. So it is still very, very challenging. There are no good deals, so to speak. I don't think you're ever going to see a good deal, so to speak, buying a property below fair market value. The other interesting thing is properties that are on the market for a very long period of time are sort of discarded in the marketplace. So like we have 23 days for average time on the market, or 32 days for average time on the market. If your house hasn't sold by then, during that period of time, getting a good offer on it, then, there are challenges to it, either price reductions or perhaps some refreshing that needs to go on.
Okay.
What I do say right now, thanks to AI, and I don't know how AI influences your commercial market, but I say every house is now beautiful because of AI. because of all the things that you can do with AI and photography.
Oh,
I had one realtor show me his phone, and it was a rurally zoned property, so he put horses and chickens in the front yard.
well, if you have horses and chickens, you're going to have mice.
Well, my point being that he used AI. He used AI to enhance his photograph by putting photos of chickens,
Yeah.
and horses.
Yeah, blues in it. Definitely you're going to have mice. Definitely.
So the thing that I am concerned about is because there's so much photoshopping and AI going on, every house is beautiful. All the adjectives and adverbs are the same, but every house is different and every street is different. And I am concerned, especially if there's an out-of-state buyer buying a house sight unseen because of all the opportunities that are there. And, what is really most important is location, location, location. And you don't get location with Google Maps. You really don't get to see the location very well with Google Maps.
Didn't you have a policy for your residential agents about
I know.
Okay.
Well, they still do sell sight unseen, but we do have a disclosure on it. Yeah, we are not responsible for anything related to that situation. But I do think that we're going to see more of that, not less, as a result of AI and everything that you can do with AI. So I think there is a certain danger in that. We, of course, always recommend, you're buying a $700,000 house. You don't want to spend $700 to come see the house, to fly in and see the house. Probably. Yeah, that's what I say. But of course, the Matsu Borough is a little bit different. Here's something interesting that just came out today. So there were in Anchorage 146 residential properties for sale last week.
Say that number again, please.
146 residential properties. We have a population of 286,000 in the municipality of Anchorage. Wasilla last week had 160. More houses for sale. They have a population of 100. The Matsu Borough has a population of 103,000.
Yeah.
Right? So, but there are more houses for sale, more choices as a result of leniency or changes, and how the code is so much less for building.
Of those 102 homes,
162, 160, yes,
in the valley,
right.
How many are new construction?
I would say just ballpark, probably a third.
Okay.
A third are, and don't quote me on that. Well, you are quoting me.
It's kind of a third. Yeah. How about new construction for Anchorage?
We have hardly any new construction. As a matter of fact, I've invited Skylar Quinn, who's the new president of the Anchorage Home Builders Association, to come in and talk about the new construction and the lack of new construction and where it is and how we can help stop the flood of cars. 57,000 cars go to the valley and return every single day. It doesn't matter. It used to be, from 3:30 to 5:30. Now it's all the time. It's just simply constant, right? So the difference in value is $100,000. So if our average price is $530,000, then in the valley it's like $430,000. And then when we're talking about land, the difference is also $100,000. Well, $100,000 is a lot. It's when you think about property taxes. Yeah, the municipality of Anchorage has the highest property taxes. The Matsu Borough, Palmer, and Wasilla have probably only half or a third of those as far as property taxes.
Mill rate.
Yeah, for the mill rate. So it makes a huge difference in qualifying. And the other thing that's interesting is there's a plethora of ranches being sold because what we have...
Ranch-style homes?
Ranch-style homes. Because we have the baby boomers that are getting to be in their 60s and 70s, and they want one-story living. And we just don't have the land to create ranch homes here. even if they were attached, right?
Okay.
And so we see the majority of homes, over 50% of the homes in the valley, are really ranch homes.
Oh,
So, they're 3 beds, 2 baths, and then they have a double car garage, they have a triple car garage, or they have a double car garage and they have these huge RV bays, right?
right.
Because it's amazing the number of aging boomers that have RVs. Really, it's really quite interesting. So, in the future, I think in 2026, I think we will see more rentals being built. But that doesn't help the home buying market per se. People that are renting and going in new construction, my opinion is, at some point in time, you've heard me tell this story in the past, but a young person comes to Alaska, he gets a good job. Maybe he's a young engineer, maybe he's a nurse or whatever, and a 2-vendor, 1-bath apartment is fine, right? So then actually, he gets a dog, assuming that the place will allow him to have a dog. It's still fine. He may have to go down a flight of stairs to take the dog out, or an elevator or whatever, but he manages, and he takes his bicycle upstairs with him and all that sort of thing. He gets married. So now there's 2 people living in this 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bath, and the dog. The first child comes along and they start going looking for a house. Really, quite frankly, because it's too small. So, in my opinion, it's transitory. Most people that live in a rental are transitory of some sort. Maybe they're here temporarily for a job. Maybe they're just, seeing how Alaska is. If they don't want to stay, they've been transferred here, whatever. But to me, that doesn't solve our housing crisis.
So when you say multifamily, are you saying apartment buildings are being planned?
I think there are apartment buildings that are being planned, and I think there are subsidized. Some of them are subsidized, some of them are not subsidized, at least not to the extent that, say, a nonprofit does the work, right? But we are going to see, if the mayor wants 1,000 housing units a year, you're going to see the majority of those not reaching 1,000, but the majority of those are going to be in multifamily because we don't have any land for single family, unless it's up on the hillside and it's very expensive.
Yeah, and we're not going to do multifamily on the hill.
No. So for me, I think that the residential market is going to continue more or less like it is. I think we will still see 4 to 5, maybe 6% appreciation. The number of transactions are a little smaller. The number is smaller, but the volume looks okay because the prices are increasing, right? But just a couple of weeks ago, we were looking at homes between $700,000 and $850,000 because we were doing a market analysis. We found 7 homes for sale. That's all in this marketplace, not counting, there were 3 in Eagle River, there was 1 in Girdwood. But, that's an incredibly low number.
Yeah.
So what's a young family, even if they can afford a $750,000 or an $850,000 house, their choices are very, very limited. So there are more and more people, going up, taking that drive out to the valley. So I go to the valley once a week, try to go there once a week. And, it's an hour. I say it's 47 minutes, but it's not 47 minutes. It's an hour out and it's an hour back. And that eats up a big portion of your day.
But, in everywhere else in the country, or so many other states and areas of the country, to drive an hour to work is not a big problem. If you worked in San Francisco, you would be driving an hour. So when we say it's a big commute, an hour, everywhere else in the world, you would just take that in stride. If you lived in New York and you worked in the city, you might be on the train or however it is for an hour and not think anything of it. But here, because we've been spoiled all this time, we think, an hour to the valley. Maybe we have to have a little adjustment in our thinking there.
I don't disagree with you, but we have to look at the demographics of the people that come to Alaska.
Right.
And there, I think the difference is people come to Alaska because of its scenic beauty, all of its recreational activities. I think the majority of Alaskans are probably more fit, at least in certain age groups, because they hike and they snowboard and they do all sorts of things. And so this is what I say, going back to people that are here renting apartments and that sort of thing, where are they going to park their pickup truck? Where are they going to put their snow machine, or their Sea-Doo? That's not why people come here. And I think it's a big mistake to think that we can have 4 and 5 and 6-story apartment buildings. You might have them for a while, and they might have full occupancy and all that sort of thing. But you're going to have some turnover. And because the people that come here and that are permanent residents, they don't want to live like that.
Yeah.
That's not why they're here. And so I am concerned about that.
Yeah.
So I always say this, and I think this trend is going to continue. We are going to have multi-million-dollar homes being built. They're going to be luxurious homes, whether they're maybe downtown renovated or maybe they're up on the hillside. Maybe they're around a little lake or whatever, a man-made lake like out at Campbell Lake and all that sort of thing. We're going to have these million-dollar, multi-million-dollar homes. And then we're going to have some apartments, right? Some rental apartments. Some of them are going to be subsidized and some of them are going to be market rate. And then that middle market, that $500,000-$600,000 market to $900,000, they're going to go to the valley. And that affects our schools. It affects all sorts of things. Already they're talking about a 4-day week. I would rather have a 6-day week so that we had education for our young people, our students, but not a 4-day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think here is, if your house hasn't sold, like what I said before, the average time of sold on the market is 32 days. And in the last 6 months, it went down to 29 days. And we're still selling at 99.78% of the asking price. Now, what I would say to you, if your house hasn't sold within that 30-day window, your asking price is going to go down. It just simply has to be, because that's how tight the housing market is.
And there's nothing else that can give.
Nothing else. No, it's just price, because home ownership is more expensive. It's not just about the cost of a piece of sheetrock. It's not just about our taxes. It's also insurance is going up.
Yep.
And utilities are going up. I'm going around turning off my lights. Now I make sure that when I leave my house, I have only one light on. Really, quite frankly, did I ever care about that? I never really cared about that. I would just walk out of the house, right?
But I'm the kid of an immigrant. I don't turn off every light.
You turn off every light. Well, I'm getting close to that, right? I have to leave one light on. But here, look at this. Above $1 million right now, there are 28 active homes for sale.
Wow. Now, and what's the average time on the market for those 28 homes?
The average time on the market right now for them is 47 days before it sells. Before it sells. But when we get up here to, let's see, 500 to 600, we have 16 homes for sale between 500 and 549, between 550 and 599, 17 homes. 400 to 450, 8.
Wow.
8. These people that are looking in this price point, between 400 and 449,000, there are 8 homes for sale. Okay. You can't find one, you're going to go to the valley.
Yeah.
Because in the valley, now you may not be able to buy a brand new ranch home for $449,000, but you can buy a resale one. It's going to have 3 beds, 2 baths, and most likely a double car garage. It's going to be on a Burrow acre, which is 30,000 square feet. It's going to have well and septic, so you don't have those utility costs. And that's the affordability factor. So I don't know what to say about the municipality of Anchorage as far as getting to 1,000 units. of housing. The only way you're going to accomplish that is multifamily, and you're going to have to go up more than 4 stories to do that. And demographically, I don't think that's how people that come to Alaska or that are currently here in Alaska want to live. And we're forgetting about the lifestyle factor.
Yeah.
The lifestyle factor.
I'm very involved with mobile home communities.
Mm-hmm.
And in all of my parks, we have secured yard storage because all of the residents have boats or snow machines or motorcycles, and they can't, of course, have them in their driveway. And that's a high density. The mobile home parks are high density. So if we're going 4 or 5 stories up on multifamily stick-built apartments, we're going to have some yard storage for all of their toys. And I don't know of any apartment complex or condo complex that has any storage for their toys.
Mm-mm. So I agree with you. But let's talk about mobile home parks, because the quality of the mobile home park is changing. It's not what people used to think about trailers, for example. They are the first rung on the housing ladder. You and I have a friend who just bought a mobile home down in California, right? In a very, very nice park next to a marina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sort of thing. So I think some of that is going to happen here at some point in time. Do you agree? Would you build a new mobile home park if you had the opportunity to?
To develop a mobile home park is the same cost as developing a subdivision.
Water and sewer.
Yeah, gas and railroads, water, sewer. You have curbs, you have gutters, you have all. So it's the same price. You have to. I did some numbers on some land adjacent to a park I own, and I would have to get the land for free, and still it would be to make it close to feasible. Because I wanted to expand my park. I think there's some demand for quality parks, but I would have to have the land for free, and that's just not going to happen. And getting the homes up here, it's $30,000 to bring it up, to have it shipped up, on the boats, and then to buy the unit itself is about $150 to $220. So they're not cheap to buy a new one.
Okay.
So I would love to have a brand new park, but I don't see it happening.
Let me ask you this question, because mobile homes are ranches, and ranches are in high demand, right? How many mobile homes can you put on an acre? 5, 6,
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Because for a regular subdivision with all of the amenities, the roads, the water, the sewer, the gas, the electric, all of that, with the current zoning for R1 zoning, you would be able to have about 3.5, maybe 4, depending upon the design. So you can get twice the number of mobile homes on an acre than you can a detached single-family stick-built home.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I don't think you'd be able to sell them.
Okay.
I think there's still some stigma on a mobile home, manufactured housing. I think someone would prefer to, and this is just my opinion, I don't have a study, but I would think that most people would prefer to have a stick-built than manufactured housing. And if you walk through some of the new manufactured housing, they are beautiful homes.
Yes.
I mean, they're just beautiful homes.
We saw that at the Berkshire Hathaway convention.
He owns a couple of different manufacturers.
Right. And he listed off that. Yeah, they're lovely. So for my Mart here, as far as 2026 is concerned, I don't see much change in the housing market. I think we're all going to be everyone, buyers and sellers are going to be, they're going to buy and sell based upon marriage, birth, death, divorce, and job change.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that mix in the marketplace.
I know you don't want to talk about Holton Hills, and you might cut this out, but when Holton Hills comes on, we're going to have new construction, and then we're going to have people like me that have cabins,
Right.
cabins, old homes that, I want to have a new one. So I'm going to sell my cabin. It's going to be less expensive. It's going to be affordable. It's actually a duplex on the market or priced or anything, but I'm not going to be the only one that says it's time for me to buy something new. So that's going to be a whole new market that opens up.
Yes.
So you're really careful never to talk about Holton Hills, but that's a reality. That's been approved. That's going to happen.
Well, I hope so. It's been 4 years, and that I've been working on it since I won the RFP. And we are at the Planning and Zoning Commission on January 5th for approval for our conditional use planned unit development.
I mean, I was in Gerber over the weekend, and the roads are beautiful. They have it, fenced so you can't drive it now, but it's all paved. It's beautiful. I walked it. It's lovely.
Thank you. It is the story behind all that is, a residential developer cannot afford to build a new subdivision if they have to have 1,500 feet of off-site improvements. So that's how that occurred. That's as a joint venture with CY Investments, because whether it's a trailer park or whether or not it's a single-family subdivision or branch condos or whatever, a developer can pay for the roads, water, sewer, gas, and electric if they can have a driveway to the lot right from the main road. But if you can't have that driveway to the main road to help pay for that infrastructure that is going to be used, then you can't do it.
What about the price of the dirt?
Yeah, and then you've got the price of the dirt as well.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That you almost have to get the dirt on manufactured housing communities. You have to get the dirt for free. I mean, and the benefit is that when you add to the tax base for the city or the community, you provide housing. I mean, there's a lot of benefits, but you can't afford to.
Just so everyone knows, the land is not free in Holton Hills because you had a joint venture and with a share of profits.
Right.
But I do agree with you that years ago when Title 21, Title 21 is 10, 12, 15 years old now, they brought in a person that had just finished the Title 21 work in Colorado. And all the landowners and property owners were there and the developers. And they said, what's going to happen? You've got all these restrictions now about windows and light and all of these regulations. What's going to happen to the value of our land? And he said, it's going to go down. And that's what we're looking at right now. We are over-regulated. Approximately, according to the national statistics, approximately 23% of the cost of a home is due to regulation.
Yeah, that doesn't equate to better life safety issues. I mean, it's not like it's fireproof or earthquake proof. It's not life safety issues. It's just
over-regulation. It's just paperwork.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, on that note, all right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we'll see you next year. Lottie and I are committed to doing this podcast. We're sharing residential and commercial information. I can guarantee you this is a different podcast about Alaska. We are not hunting and fishing, having those discussions. We're probably not even camping, right? Are you skiing? You might ski.
I ski, right. I ski and bicycle, but
right.
I don't want to get fish or animals.
Right. All right. So it's a different podcast. We'd love to have you sign up. You can find us on YouTube, or if you want to, you can contact either one of us. We're happy to continue our dialogue. Obviously, I've been here over 40 years. Lottie's been here over 52 years. We have a lot of opinions. That's as a result of our experience.
Actually, I'm going to have a celebration of my anniversary next month in January.
How long?
1972. I think it was January 19th, 1972, something like that.
Didn't we have one of those anniversary parties?
That was when I was marked 50 years.
Okay.
I'm going to have to start marking it more often in case I decide to so there are more parties. That's right.
I don't think we're ever quitting.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's too much fun.
Yeah.
So far, you have fun. You have to love what it is that you do. And one of the things that brought us together is we both love what we do. Yeah. All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.